Welcome to Vacuum Wars. This week I've been testing the Roborock S7 Auto Empty Dock. I've already done an in-depth review of the Roborock S7 robot vacuum by itself, in which I put it through all kinds of tests and came to the conclusion that it was one of the best robot vacuums I've tested so far. I'll put a link to that review in the description, but today I just wanted to focus on the Auto Empty Dock by itself, which was only just released, to see how it stacks up against similar auto empty systems and to see if it's worth the cost. So links in the description, and let's get started. The basic idea of auto empty bins in general is that after the robot finishes its cleaning job, it automatically returns to its base to recharge. And when it does, a motor in the base kicks in and it sucks the debris from the robot's dustbin into a bag in the base. I personally think this is a really useful feature that almost fully automates the process of vacuuming your floors, and I'm not surprised to see virtually every major manufacturer now offering a version of this. First, the basics. The Roborock Auto Empty Dock system comes in two colors. I accidentally bought the wrong color because I wasn't paying attention during the checkout process. I assume they will soon come out with a package deal where the S7 and the dock are in the same box, but for now they are sold separately. It comes with the bin itself, which requires some very minimal assembly. It comes with two bags, one of which is already installed. They have a 3-liter capacity, which Roborock says can hold 8 weeks of debris each, which will obviously vary depending on usage. It also comes with a separate dustbin, which has a little door on the side that allows air to pass through, which the other one doesn't. Before you replace it with the old bin, you will need to remove a little plastic door inside the dustbin housing of the S7, which is where it will draw air in for the suction. The way the bin works is pretty interesting. It sucks the debris from behind the brush roller on the bottom, where there is a significant amount of space between the roller and the housing, and it's probably one of the main reasons they redesigned the roller from previous Roborock versions. The bin has a few other interesting features. For example, it has a very good filtration system rated for 99.99% down to 0.3 microns, which is just about as good as it gets. It also has little brushes on the dock that clean the charging electrodes on the robot each time it docks, which is a pretty cool idea that I haven't seen before. Although it will automatically empty itself upon docking, you can also push a button on the app to empty it, or you can use the home button on the robot. There's also an app feature where you can set the amount of time that you want the motor to run for when it empties the bin. I think it's something like between 15 and 30 seconds, as well as a smart mode, which adjusts the length of the suction depending on how long the robot ran for. In my experience, this isn't that big of a deal since most of the emptying is done in the first 5 seconds or so, and I'm pretty sure the actual strength of the suction is the same on each setting. Moving on to its performance. In terms of returning to its base, it was very accurate, but then again, most LiDAR-based smart robots are these days, but still the idea that it knows where its base is and doesn't need me to pay attention to it is a big plus. The real issue though was how well it emptied the bin, and here I tested it in a variety of ways, both in my house and in the studio with full bins of different types and sizes of debris. The first thing I noticed was how clean the bin was after emptying. It was like 100% clean, which is not something I have noticed with the others I've tested. But like the other auto empty bins I've tested, it has its limits. For example, I specifically didn't vacuum my house for 2 weeks while on vacation in anticipation of this review, and because I have 2 cats, a lot of cat hair can build up in 2 weeks. I was hoping that the S7 could auto empty even that much hair after that much time, but no, it did get some hair clogged when I tried to empty it in that test. But it did just fine after that big test and was able to consistently clean normal amounts of hair. Basically, if you have pets that shed, you will probably need to run it at least once or twice a week in order to make sure it empties the bin without clogs. Maybe even more if you have a lot of big pets. But as I said, I've yet to find an auto empty robot vacuum that doesn't have this specific limitation. So how does the Roborock S7 Auto Empty Dock stack up against the competition, and is it worth the price? In terms of the competition, I have to say it's hard to tell. I've tried to devise all kinds of ways to evaluate the performance of these auto empty bins, and so far all I can really say with confidence is that they're all pretty much the same. That being said, my gut feeling is that Roborock is onto something with this new design that sucks the debris from the main brush housing, and judging by how clean it leaves the bins, and because of the super easy way it mates with the dock, I think it's well above average. But the Roborock S7, that is the robot vacuum itself, is still the real star of the show in my opinion. The reason I've been anticipating the release of this auto empty dock from Roborock is because the S7 really did impress me when I reviewed it, and I was thinking that if the bin was good enough, I would replace the previous robot vacuum I'd been using at my house with the S7 and the new dock, which I did. So the bottom line for me is that that this new system is worth it in both cases. If you currently have the S7 and you want to upgrade the bin, I think it's a no-brainer, and it's worth it if you're in the market for a top-of-the-line premium robot vacuum in which you don't mind paying a little extra for top-of-the-line quality. Links in the description for purchase links, as well as to my in-depth review of the S7 here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.